So many of us are guilty of taking our AC and other major home appliances for granted. We don't give them much thought until they stop working. We're going to give some great maintenance and prevention tips to avoid costly repairs on today's SoFlo Home Project. Welcome to SoFlo Home Project. I'm Alena Capra, and happy 4th of July weekend. So today we have prepared a list of ways to extend the life of your major home appliances. When it comes to home maintenance, it really is about taking care of everything so it lasts longer and works efficiently. Today we have advice that can help you keep your appliances running longer, increase your AC's efficiency, maintain things clean and organized, and much more. All right, so when it comes to home appliances in our kitchen, these are some of the most expensive items, of course, in the home that you're putting in, and some of the most used. So you want to properly maintain and care for them to keep their lifespan lasting as long as possible. So let's start with the most used appliance in the kitchen, the refrigerator. The refrigerator is also one of the most expensive appliances in your kitchen. So the average lifespan for a refrigerator freezer is about 10 to 15 years. If you get it to last 15 years, you should replace it anyhow because it will become less energy efficient in time. 15 years is usually sort of that max. Of course, it's an appliance that's always running, always cooling, so make sure you have the right temperature settings. Each refrigerator has manufacturer specifications that will usually give the setting, but you're looking usually between 36 to 40 degrees on that refrigeration temperature. So you want to keep that temperature right. You want to also check the door seals to give you that coldness inside the fridge. You're going to clean them about twice a year because when they are all nice and clean, there's not going to be any issue with keeping a nice tight seal. So when it comes to maintaining your refrigerator or freezer, organization also plays a role in that. So it's not just about keeping the fridge looking good inside with these great bins, but this helps it make it easier to find stuff so you don't have to keep that refrigerator door open for a long time where it loses its coolness and then has to run twice as hard to bring it back to temperature. So we've talked about the refrigerator. Another big kitchen appliance is the oven. The oven itself typically is going to last pretty long. We're looking at 10 to 15 years on average with proper maintenance, and you should probably clean it once a month. Again, this is all dependent on use. So when it comes to your oven, of course, there is a self-cleaning option, right? But when it comes to the microwave, it's not going to clean itself. So here is a very quick and easy way that you can clean out the inside of the microwave, and it only takes 2 ingredients: white distilled vinegar and a cup of water. You're going to get a microwave-safe bowl, 1 to 2 tablespoons of the distilled white vinegar. We are just going to be heating it up. We're probably going to want to put it on a boiling setting. So if you're boiling any type of water, whatever your microwave has that setting. So now that this is done, you're going to see it's nice and steamed up inside, and you're going to want to let it cool down for at least 10 to 15 minutes before starting to wipe down the interior of the microwave with a soft cloth or paper towel. So this is just going to help loosen any of that food, get that all off so the inside is nice and clean. And lastly, you're also going to want to, of course, clean the glass plate at the bottom of the microwave. Once it's all nice and sparkling clean, go ahead and use it and get it dirty again for the next clean. Coming up, we care for appliances that help us keep things clean in our homes on SoFlo Home Project.
So you finally decided to upgrade your windows and your doors? Today we're going to talk about what to expect on installation day on SoFlo Home Project.
When it's time to move, we always recommend to our clients to plan ahead. This gives our clients enough time to vet their mover, collect quotes in writing, and make sure that they do a thorough check on who they're actually hiring to do the work. So when it's time to move, give us a call and set up a free consultation, or go to goodgreek.com.
Good Greek Moving and Storage, your superhero movers.
Welcome back to SoFlo Home Project. I'm Alena Capra, and we are continuing to talk about home maintenance tips for your major appliances. Before the break, we talked about maintaining and cleaning your refrigerator, as well as the microwave and the oven. Now let's talk about those appliances that help us keep things clean. So let's start with the dishwasher. Of course, this is definitely an appliance that helps keep things clean and is always being used in most households. So you want to properly maintain it to get its maximum lifespan. On average, we're gonna say probably between 8 to 10 years is the average lifespan of a dishwasher. So a couple of things to keep in mind. Always make sure that you are periodically cleaning out the filter because food and other particles could get stuck in there. So you wanna make sure that that is nice and clean and make sure there's no food particles and other things in there that's preventing it from working as easily as it normally would. Another thing is to make sure that the gasket seal is working and that nothing is leaking out when it's being used. That's how you know it might need time for repair or replacement. But if it's running efficiently, you want to keep it that way. Now, there is something that you can do similar to what we showed you for the microwave to kind of keep the interior nice and fresh. You still will need that distilled white vinegar and just some water and a dishwasher safe cup or bowl. And you're gonna do 1 cup of the distilled white vinegar and place it in a cup on the top rack. Run a short cycle on hot, and then it will steam it up and keep that nice and fresh. And you can dump that out after it's run the cycle. So now that you have the interior nice and fresh and clean, you also want to keep the exterior clean properly. Now, I prefer to use a nice stainless steel cleaner on the stainless steel fronts to keep it nice and shiny. Remember, you're going to wipe with the grain of the stainless steel and using just a soft cloth and then buff to shine with this product. So another appliance that keeps things clean in the kitchen is the garbage disposal. And if you have one in your home, of course, you want it to be properly maintained, and to keep it clean from time to time, we suggest using these disposal cleaner droplets. These work really well. You just run the water, put one in, wait 10 seconds, and hit the start switch. So it's really just a super quick way to freshen up. And we're gonna continue sharing some home appliance cleaning and maintenance tips. But before we do that, let's check in with our friends from FHIA and see what they're up to today.
Hi, I'm Valentina with FHIA Remodeling, and we're here at the FHIA warehouse, and we're gonna talk today about what you can expect during installation day for your new upgraded windows. This is an amazing place. Look how big this place is. Peter, tell me, what's all in here, and what do you guys keep in this warehouse?
Well, we have 110,000 square feet of all of our windows, doors, kitchens, baths, roofing materials, everything that we need to do our installations.
Installations, let's talk installations. How important is installations when it comes to windows?
When it comes to windows, you could have the thickest glass in the world. If it's not installed properly, that's a big problem. Installation is one of the most important aspects of this entire project for most homeowners down in South Florida. So
what can homeowners expect on installation day?
Well, on installation day, we're going to have our factory certified installers show up to the house between 9 and 10 o'clock to get the ball rolling. Again, very mindful of it's your home and not a construction site. And we're going to work on a section at a time. And that being said, you know, we actually have zip walls that we put up over the windows to make sure no dust and debris will be able to enter the home.
Yes, because construction and all that things can be very messy.
It can be, you know, it can be a painful process that we try to make as painless as possible.
I like that.
So, yeah. So the majority of the work is, you know, done from outside in, and that's why we put the zip wall up.
And how long does it take, approximately, the installation?
Depending upon the size of the project, typically about 2 to 3 days.
So I don't really need to move out then?
No need to move out. We're very mindful of this is your home, not a construction site. We work on sections at a time and go from there.
So it seems that installation day is not as bad as I thought it would be.
It's not going to be that bad. It'll be a breeze. You won't even know we're there. Don't worry about it.
I love it. So if you're thinking of upgrading or installing new windows, call FHIA Remodeling today and get your free quote.
So another appliance that definitely keeps things clean is our washer and dryer. And again, that is something that gets used most often in a home. The average lifespan of the washer dryer, we're looking at probably 10 to 13 years, depending on maintenance and use. So here we've got a stackable washer dryer. every washer dryer scenario is a little different. In condos, you may have them in a closet or a laundry room. In a home, you're definitely probably gonna have some sort of laundry area or room dedicated to just that. So here is a stackable unit, and in this type of unit, there's usually a front loading washer, or if they are side by side, you're still gonna have sometimes that front loading washer, which is a great thing, but often the water after you finish a wash, you have to keep this door open to prevent things like mold and just this kind of overall scent and smell from there being water trapped inside the unit. So you definitely don't want that to sort of accumulate in the machine itself. So to keep things fresh, you could just leave the door open, but there are some great magnetic pieces such as this, which you could easily find online, and that just goes right to the machine. And this way it props the door open. And it's always nice to keep that open for quite a bit so it can completely dry out. There's also products that you can put inside the washing machine that keep front loading washers fresh and clean. So you can get those in the laundry detergent aisle and pop that in and run a cycle, and that also just keeps it with that fresh scent. Now, if you have a front loading washer, there is also an area here where you do have to kind of drain the water from every so often. That's another thing to get rid of that sort of mildewy smell. You do not want that in your washer dryer. Now, when it comes to dryers, pretty simple. The only thing that you really need to make sure that you do, one is don't overfill it, okay? So it takes a lot more energy to dry overly full machines, okay? So don't overfill. It's better to sometimes obviously run 2 cycles because it'll take so long to dry otherwise. But you always want to make sure that you remove the lint after each drying session, because this can accumulate and it can eventually cause fires or things like that. So you always want to make sure that this is taken out and thrown out. It obviously helps it run more efficiently, but prevents any of this from getting trapped in the machine. You always want to keep things nice and clean. That will definitely extend the life of your appliances. So after, of course, removing the lint, you might want to also sort of clean off any area here. You don't want a lot of lint to accumulate in the machine. So anything you could do to kind of keep that as lint-free as possible is great. Now, with your dryer vent, there's a blockage of a lot of lint and stuff in there. That's gonna make the dryer run less efficiently as well. So if your unit is an older unit, you definitely wanna make sure that the vent that's connected to the dryer is venting properly, that it's not clogged. And typically in older units, or when you replace your dryer, you will often sometimes see an accumulation that does need to be cleaned out. Coming up next, we have maintenance advice for that one appliance we cannot live without on SoFlo Home Project.
I am here with Terry from Florida Solar and Air, so thanks so much for letting us come out and kind of talk about what solar has to offer.
Thank you.
But when it comes to someone that's still unsure, doesn't really know how to go about it, why should they choose solar?
We are in the Sunshine State. We all need electricity, and now we have a choice of where to get it from.
So one thing that really makes y'all unique is you really assess each process with the client. So talk a little bit about that.
We are also a general contractor, and one of the things that we want to do is we want to do a full evaluation of your home. We want to do a needs assessment to see what we need to do to make the house more efficient. We check the roofing to make sure that the roof is in good standing in order for us to attach panels to your roof. We will verify your appliances, your air conditioning, if you have a pool, the pool equipment, and we'll make recommendations so that there's less penetrations, less panels needed on the roof to make sure that we maximize and make the house the most energy efficient. Once we do that, my sales representative will sit with you. We will design a solar array of your home. You will be able to see exactly what it's going to look like on your roof. And then from there, we talk about what to do so that you can go solar.
Now there's a lot of efficiency when it comes to using solar, but the big question is, the cost when it comes to my FPL bill. How is that going to change when I am using solar?
So the idea is for you not to incur an additional bill. So what we do is we size the system so that instead of you paying FP&L, you're taking that money and investing it into your home, and in return, adding value to your property as well. I actually have a couple of bills from some of my customers that they approved. It's an $11 a month bill because you still have to be connected to FP&L. Customer that did work with us 2 years ago, has a fixed bill that has not increased, where FP&L has had 2 price increases this year.
Is there any upfront costs? What do I need to know when it comes to just going for it?
There is no upfront cost. With the PACE program, it's based on the equity that you have on your home and your ability to repay. One of the great benefits that this program has also is that your first payment might not start for another 12 months, if not longer. So some customers are actually saving money that first year because they're not paying FP&L and they don't have a payment.
Now, are there any incentives to go solar?
There's a 26% tax credit that most of our homeowners qualify for.
Now, if someone is ready to go solar, what are their next steps?
Call now. Let's take advantage of that 26% tax credit before it's gone. Call Florida Solar and Air at 877-310-0310. Or you can visit us at the website solarandair.com.
Well, thank you so much. You have given us so much information. So thank you for letting us come out and see what you guys have to offer.
Thank you.
Welcome back to SoFlo Home Project. I'm Alena Capra, and we are continuing to talk about ways to maintain your major home appliances. So we've talked a lot about the kitchen appliances, the washer dryer, and now I think one of the most necessary here in South Florida, the AC unit. So I'm gonna open up this HVAC closet here. Of course, a lot of the times it's usually behind a door somewhere in the home. So often when it comes to your AC unit, basic maintenance will keep the unit running for a long lifespan. So a lot of the times, usually I think they say about 10 to 13 years on average is the lifespan. Of course, maintenance factors into that very, very much so. You always want to do the basic maintenance, which is changing the filters pretty much monthly if you can, okay? It's just something that a lot of us probably sometimes forget to do. I know in the past I have maybe forgotten, and then you're putting a lot of stress on the AC itself. So it is always good to make sure you have clean filters. Now, a quick tip, if you do not know when you last changed it, as many of us will forget if you don't do it on the first of the month every month, we suggest writing the date on the side so you will know exactly the month that this was done. So here, this was July, so I will know that when it's August, it needs to be changed. So very simple, easy thing to do. Of course, I do always want to make the note that when there is something wrong with your AC, you always want to call a professional. We suggest biannual maintenance on your AC. Honestly, because a well-running AC can save you a ton on your electric bill. You want to make sure it's energy efficient. When it's not working properly, it's just burning energy and it's not keeping your home cool, or as cool as it can be. So earlier in the episode, we used white distilled vinegar to do some cleaning options for the microwave and other things in the kitchen. Well, I do want to point out that white distilled vinegar is also a great way to clean out the drain line in your AC. So pouring 1 cup of distilled white vinegar into the drain line when you power down the unit for about an hour, flush it with some hot water after that. That is going to keep it nice and clean and keep everything running properly. So it's always nice to keep a bucket. Having the distilled vinegar handy and nearby will also keep everything there for you to be able to take care of your own needs with your AC. A lot of AC closets in some condos may be very small, so at least be able to store your filters on the side so they are easy to reach. Also, just a quick note that if you do have louvered doors on your AC unit, you typically should have that for the airflow. You want to keep those clean and dust-free. Often you might see dust accumulate in the louvers on the door itself. So just sort of wiping that down and making sure that there's no dust in that area. We talked a lot about home appliances and maintaining and keeping them all clean. But when we come back, we're going to show you ways to keep all the cleaning products organized. So stay with us. Next, roll up your sleeves to get things clean and organized on SoFlo Home Project. Welcome back to SoFlo Home Project. I'm Alena Capra. We're continuing to share tips on maintaining and cleaning your home appliances, but now would be a great time to kind of talk about organizing all of the stuff that you use to clean and maintain those appliances. What I did here was put together 2 easy ways, my favorite ways, to store cleaning products, whether it's under your sink or in a cabinet. So the Lazy Susan inexpensive, great thing. Okay, we've seen this a lot in pantries as well. It's always a good, simple fix for being able to fully utilize and get everything you need all on one level here without having to knock things over trying to get to the back of a cabinet. So this I always keep on a shelf in my closet off of the kitchen, and I'm able to easily get everything. So the other option is that you can get more vertical storage, and this option is often something that's great for under the sink base. So often that cabinet does not have shelves, and if you have a sink and then perhaps a garbage disposal underneath it, or even just the plumbing pipes, it kind of takes up a lot of room in that cabinet. So storage is a premium in there. So going vertical with something kind of narrow like this allows you to utilize one portion underneath the sink where you can get double the storage. And what I love about these is that it's easy to also move, so there's drawers as well. The taller items are great for the top and the shorter ones on the bottom. And I do want to point out, under the sink base, sometimes people often put a rubber mat to help protect the cabinet in the event of something leaking from the plumbing. But what I like to do under these type of things here, I put a tray, because sometimes if this product happens to leak anything in here, you're still protecting the sink base. So really keeping everything organized. We love talking about organization here on SoFlo Home Project, and I absolutely love keeping things all in its place. So I hope that you all enjoyed these tips and can implement them in your own homes. Now let's take a look at what design inspiration we have planned for you next week. Fashion and interior design merge together. We share how the trends of these two industries come together to create some stylish new looks. And before we go, let's check in with Hunter Frankie, the host of SoFlo Health, and see what he's up to tomorrow. Hunter, what's going on?
Oh, hey there, Alena. Tomorrow on SoFlo Health, it's more of a combination of SoFlo Home Project and SoFlo Health, because we're in a picturesque suite that you can check out and you could appreciate. But if you want some healthy food, we have that for you as well, plus a mobile HIIT training workout that comes to a park near you. We'll talk about the different types of milks and who they could be for, and we'll even tour a luxury cruise liner. All of that and more is tomorrow on SoFlo Health at 12:30 on the one and only Local 10.
Thanks, Hunter. We'll definitely be watching. And to our viewers, we thank you for joining us this week. And we hope to see you again next week for another all-new episode of SoFlo Home Project right here on Local 10. And remember, there's no place like SoFlo Home. If you missed any part of this episode, or if you're looking for more design inspiration, make sure to check out all episodes online at SoFloShows.com. And don't forget to follow us on social media on Facebook and Instagram.